Who knew a simple shoebox could hold so much creative potential? Today I'm transforming this vibrant graffiti-style box into stunning junk journal ephemera. Think journaling cards, belly bands, tuck spots, and all with a splash of mixed media magic. Let's dive in and see just how far we can take this design. So first I'm going to cut the box apart so that I get pieces that are a lot more manageable. Obviously, you're not going to have the same shoebox that I do, but maybe you have something else. It doesn't have to be a shoebox. It can be any type of packaging. There's so much beautiful packaging, and it would be such a shame to let it go to waste. So the first thing I want to try is to see if I can actually take this layer off, because I will have a lot more options if I have a thinner layer. You see there's some corrugated cardboard underneath, which creates a lot of bulk in my journal. Ha! You can peel it right off. That's awesome. I'm not going to do that for every piece, but I think for some of them it's very useful. And the design might look familiar to some of you because I've used this design on the last Ephemera prompt for December 31st. I made a tag that was inspired by this design. I had a lot of fun with that, and I just cannot throw this box away because it's so cute. I mean, who doesn't love hearts? Oh yeah, Louise doesn't. But who else doesn't love hearts? So I really like the white background a lot. This could easily become, for example, a cute belly band. I even like this part here where we have some information about the product. Let's cut this apart because this is way too wide for a belly band. Let's set these aside. I'm just going to leave them as they are for now. I also really like this piece. This could be made into, for example, a journaling card or a tag. Oh no! No! Why? Okay, that's the wrong side. I want the front to come off, not the back. Got it. Sort of. Okay, let's experiment with this thin piece here to start off with. So we're going to try a stenciling technique, and I have this heart stencil by Tim Holtz. It's called Hearts THS 017. So we're going to secure that onto my glass platform. And this is a technique that we have, of course, learned from dear Louise Heinzel. I have used this technique during Ephemera as well, and it has become one of my favorite techniques. I've never done it with anything like this, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't it work? I have done it with vinyl sticker paper, and this seems very similar, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. And I just realized how fitting this hearts theme is with Valentine's Day coming up. Perfect. Okay, so once we have everything secured, we're going to need either one of these sanding discs. This is just popped onto one of the blending tool stumps. And of course, you could also use regular sanding paper instead. This one is just convenient because it has a handle. So we're just going to go over this. And yep, it works. You see how cute this heart design is coming through. No! Do be careful when you use masking tape to hold it down. Oh no! What did I just say? Barbara, listen to your own advice, please. What am I doing? Okay, so how cute is this? Let me take a baby wipe, clean some of that dust off. Yeah, much better. Look at all that dust that's coming off. Wow. Yep, I tore this quite a bit. Anyway, now it looks even better. I love it. What a cool technique. It works on so many different materials. Okay, before I tear this further, I want to mount this on my black cardstock. I'm going to use my Liquitex matte gel for this, just because I can get more even coverage than if I would, for example, use my art glitter glue. So I want to cover all of the back side. And since this is on quite crookedly, I will cut around this to make it even. What I should have done is cut this straight first, because now I have that dent. We'll go with it. Then I took it to my sewing machine and stitched around it twice with a running stitch for some more fun contrast and texture. So next I'm going to take a chalk marker. I have this bright neon orange. And I'm going to make a heart on top. And before this dries, I'm going to add some clear embossing powder. Okay, we'll see if that's enough. I might have to do a couple more layers of this. So it is a bit glossy, but it's not quite yet where I want it to be. So I'm going to add another layer. And if you don't have embossing powder, an alternative might be something like crackle accents or just a clear varnish. One that's thick enough that wouldn't spread too much. You could just go over this. That would look really cool. I'm sure with the crackle accents, it would look really cool as well, but I don't have the time to wait for that to dry. So I'm just going to use my Distress embossing pen, which is going to give me an immediate result. And go over the heart one more time. Okay, let's try it again. So after heat embossing that, we have this. I don't know if you can see the difference from before, but it is a lot more glossy now and it's a little more raised, and that is what I was going for. I also love that it's transparent, so we see the pink heart, for example, going through here and the green one as well. That is a lot of fun. Next, I want to back it with a colored cardstock. So let's find a color that we have in here or something similar. We could, of course, just use white, but let's see. Yeah, white would definitely work. Actually, it wouldn't be the worst at all. But let's explore some of the color options as well. So we have this yellow. I just want a small border around it. Yellow would work. Then we have blue. I think the closest one would be this one, but that's actually too dark. I actually would prefer the light yellow. That is kind of cute. Or we also have pink. So the one that's closest to the heart here would be this one. It's like a magenta, but I'm not loving that. That is kind of two-tone in tone. Again, let's see the lighter version. That is super cute. I really like that one. There's also green, but I'm not a fan of green. Let's just try it for the sake of it. So again, this would be the green that's in the heart. And this would be the lighter version. Again, I would definitely prefer this minty light green, but I'm really loving the pink. Let's do that. Valentine's is coming up after all. So I'm going to attach this using double-sided tape just because it's less messy. I don't have to worry about any glue squishing out. I like my cards to be clean. So we have this. Then I want to add some tiny white splatters using some thinned down gesso. I'm going to use Louise's official splatter brush. If you know, you know. And instead of just drawing them as they are, I dried them about halfway because I want to get some crater effects. So then I'm going to press my kitchen towel very firmly onto those spots. Yeah, since a lot of them were quite small, they actually already dried too much. We don't see the effect as strong as I would have wanted, but it's okay. We'll take what we can get. So what I was going for were like these little craters, you see? So just the outside of the splatter has dried completely and the inside has not. So of course, depending on how large your splatters are, you have to let it dry more or less. In this case, I just dried them a little bit too much, but I still think the effect is very cute. And the sentiment I want to add here is love you. That's for you watching this video. I love you for being here and for supporting me and for being part of this amazing community. So I'm going to write that with these individual letter stickers by Studio Light. You see me using this pad all the time. It's Janine's Mindful Art Collection Essentials with the number, where's the back? Ah, there it is. With the number JMAESSTIC07. I'll start in the middle because I want this to be centered down here. So there's our card. This is one word, love you. It's not love you, it's love you. So we can write something on the back. We could send it to someone. We could put it in our journal, in our planner. I'm very happy with this. The next piece I'm going to use is this one. I think this will make a very cute tuck spot. With this one, I'm going to leave the backing on. So it's fairly thick, but it's okay. And first I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch around with a black thread this time so that it's visible obviously on the white background. So that's what that looks like with this stitching around it. And then I found this stenciled butterfly in my stash. I don't remember which stencil I used, to be honest. And I stenciled it onto a deli paper. So we need something bold here because otherwise it's going to drown in this very busy background. So I'm going to first glue this onto my black cardstock because I want it to be more dimensional. That would have worked better with a glue stick, I think. That was not the best choice of glue, but now it has some structure, which is actually also kind of nice. So once we have him cut out, I want to add some holes for a little more interest. So I'm going to use the small hole of my crocodile. Like that. And then I also want to add a bigger butterfly underneath. I have this one cut out of the yellow cardstock that we contemplated for our card before. And this one is from this framelit set by Sizzix and Tim Holtz. It's called Flutter and has the number 662269. I will link this for you below. But an alternative, of course, which might actually work better, is to just take a piece of that cardstock, add your butterfly or whichever image you have on top, and then just cut a little bit bigger around it. That way you would get the same shape, because this one doesn't really have the same shape, but it's going to work. So that's going to give us a nice contrast there. And also here is totally not a combination I would usually go for, but why not? Let's have some fun with some bright colors. And then we could add some thread underneath to symbolize the feelers. And instead of gluing this down, why not try that with an eyelet? This is obviously quite thick, so I'm not entirely sure this is going to work. But let's just try it. So I'll just secure this here so it doesn't move while I'm punching the hole. So I'll use my big eyelet. Oh, does that even reach? Oh, it just reaches. That's lucky. Okay, punching the hole is obviously no problem with the crocodile. So let's see if the eyelet is actually going to be large enough. Let's see. Yeah, it should hold. So now the wings can stand up a little bit because we've pressed the middle down. So the wings went up a bit. So that's really nice now. We have some more movement here. And it definitely needs some white splatters. Let's try it again with the craters. So this time I did not dry it as much as I dried it last time. Oh, it's very hard to see on camera. So let's see what these look like. You have to be careful not to smear them and to press very firmly. So this time it's better. You see all these craters here? That is fun. Also here and here. I just love the look of those. And of course you don't have to wait as long for it to dry. It's like a win-win. And then going back to the same sticker set by Studio Light, I'm going to take the one that says, "A thankful heart is a happy heart," which really speaks to me because I have been concentrating so much on gratitude and it has made me so happy. It has made a huge difference. So this is perfect. And the black gives such a beautiful contrast. So that's a really fun tuck spot. Lastly, let's make a horizontal belly band. So I cut the strip I had down to fit my A5 page, leaving a little bit of space. I wouldn't want it to go all the way into the middle because it will be hard to fold my signature. So I want to leave a little bit of space, but I want to add some fabric underneath. And I thought a black and white one might be fun under here. So for example, a piece from this one. Yeah, that could be fun. And this one is by Seth Apter and it's called Printed Matter. And I like it when the fabric sticks out from my page. So I will cut it a little wider. And just a reminder, I always have a link for the German online store where I buy all these beautiful designer fabrics for you below. It's a store in Germany. So I've just sewn that on because that's the quickest and least messy. Obviously, you could just add glue if you don't want to sew it. And I want a focal point here, quite a large one. So I'm thinking of adding one of these butterflies. Let's see which size we want to go for. So this is very large. That might be a bit too large. Let's try this one. So I think this one is more proportionate for our belly band, but I want to alter this one. So I'm going to start off by again using my sanding disc to take off this shiny gold layer, or at least partially. So we have this all scratched up butterfly now, which I love. So then let's add some color back in because as we can see here now, we can hardly see the butterfly. So let's try it again with this chalk marker. Very curious how that is going to turn out. Okay, let's add some water because I don't want to have one solid color. Maybe let's even dab some away with the paper towel and dry it and see what that looks like first. So when I sanded away the glossy surface, I paid attention to really sand away all the edge. So now, of course, the color is mostly sticking to the edge, but we also have a little bit in the middle. You see it is still a bit shiny, which I don't mind, but I don't think it has enough color yet. Let's see if we add it here now. Definitely stands out a lot more, but I do want it to have more color. I'm going to try this acrylic ink by Amsterdam. It's called Reflex Rose. It is quite neon. Very, very curious. So I know this is a very intense color. Again, let's add some water to make it move. Okay, let's dry that. So we have this now, which I think looks super cool. Let's see. Yeah, it stands out really well here. I love it, but I'm not done. I mentioned in a recent video that I wanted to experiment a little bit more with different kind of pastes. So let's try this Distress Crackle Paste Translucent and just put that over the top. Or you know what we can do, because there's another one I want to try. Let's put this on 1/2. So the thicker you add the paste, the more crackling you get, I believe. And the thinner, the smaller the crackles will be. I want this to take forever to dry, so I'm not going to do it too thick. I am planning on letting this air dry. Huge challenge for me. It's not easy getting exactly the consistency you want, or the thickness, I should say. Maybe it's just because I'm not very experienced with this medium. So this is of course going to turn translucent. So again, alternatively, you could just use crackle accents. I don't have good experiences with this crackle accents. I can never get it to crackle the way I want it to, so I don't use this a lot. Also, it takes very long to dry. So on the other half, I'm going to try this texture paste sparkle, which I think is really fun and will fit so well to a butterfly theme, I think. Okay, this one seems easier to apply. Has a softer consistency. Okay, so see you back here when this has dried. So it's a few hours later. This has completely dried. On the left here, can you see the sparkle? I think that's really cute. On the right here, we're supposed to see the crackling. I can see a little bit, not too much. So let's see if it helps to add a black Soot Distress crayon on top to make the cracks more visible. I'm not experienced with this method. So yeah, they did come out a little bit, but you see it's only crackling here on the edges. I wonder if that's where I had a thicker layer of the crackle paste. It's not really what I was looking for, but I do love the two sides, one being all sweet and sparkly and one being grungy, or a little bit grungy at least. I wonder if we can somehow make that more grungy. Maybe some alcohol ink? I just had another idea. I have this Distress Foundry wax in Statue, which is like a bronze, and I hardly ever use this. So, great chance to try this out. Whoops. No, don't go over to the sparkly side. Okay, I think I was maybe supposed to shake that because this is way too liquid. What is happening? Okay, you can see I'm not practiced in using that at all. Whoops. I'm throwing away my butterfly. Ah, yeah, there's a ball in here, so you definitely need to mix this. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, now it looks different, but I don't know if this is actually going to stick. But it should, because it's foundry wax, but now, of course, it's going to cover up the crackles. No, this is not what I had in mind. Okay, so this is becoming matte now, which is fine. I'm not very happy with this now. Now what do we do? Oh no. I also have one of these distress crayons in picked raspberry. Maybe this can save the day. I really don't know. Oh, this is totally the wrong pink. Doesn't really fit to the one on this side. Oh no, this is getting worse and worse, I have the feeling. And the head is coming off here. No, this is definitely not it yet. Okay, let's try something else. I have this Reflex Orange acrylic ink, also by Amsterdam. I also have this beautiful sky blue light. Both would actually be really cute. Now let's go with the orange. I really don't know what this is going to look like. Hey, but I did say during Ephemera I want to experiment more. Oops, that was a lot. So let's add some more water again. Oh no, look, this is falling off. That's not good. I need that part on there. Okay, well, we'll deal with that later. Let's first try to get some... Oh no, look, it fell off. Okay, we'll see if we can reattach that somehow. Okay, let's try this. So I held it quite close to my heat gun and look what we have now. We have this amazing grungy texture. I'm loving it. Yep, this is great. So let's just make sure this is all nice and flat. Wow. There's all of these tiny bubbles here. That looks really interesting now. Do we leave it matte or do we add embossing powder over it? That's the question. No, I actually like the matte because there's such a huge contrast between the two sides now. We just really need to save this part here. Aw, poor thing. Let's add a little piece of cardstock on the back. There, good as new. So this would go on here like this. And now I'm thinking, since this part here is so grungy, should we maybe grunge up this half of the belly band a little bit? I think so, why not? Let's have some fun. So I'll again take my sanding disc. Okay, and then let's add some, I have this alcohol ink here now in caramel. Should we just try that? What could go wrong? Maybe I'll dab some on here. And then do that. I found like this tiniest heart stamp in my stash. So let's add that on top. Yeah. For continuity, we will add again some black thread. And then again, we'll secure this. And again, we'll put eyelets through here. I'll try it with 3. It's kind of tricky punching through the thread and the fabric as well. Okay, so I just lost my thread. Okay, that's not good. Okay, let me take this out. This is not not a good idea to do it like this. Okay, we'll try something else. We'll first put the eyelets in. Oh no, did I put them too close? Oh no, just barely room enough here. Okay, so that's secured. And now for the thread, let's see if we can still make that work. So let's add a little bit of glue underneath the head. Okay, then I'll just stuff it underneath the head like that. So we have 3 ephemera shapes made from junk. We have a belly band, we have a tuck spot, I could put it like this for example, and we have a cute journaling card, which could be tucked in the tuck spot or in the belly band. Or somewhere completely different. I'm not sure yet where I'm going to be adding these, but it's great to have some ephemera on hand. Have fun with this idea. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!